Accept header will represent in which format client expecting the response from the API. Now here I'm sending a request to the REST API. Get request I'm sending localhost :9090/book. Click on send. Why I am getting the response in the XML? Because in the request I am sending one header called accept. Accept is equal to application/XML. That means I am telling to server I want XML as a response. For example, if I want JSON as a response, then I will specify application/JSON. Click on send. Now I am getting JSON data as a response. Can I say accept header is the information giving to the server about how client expecting the response? Right. Now here, based on the accept header, REST API giving the response to the client. If the accept header value is application/XML, then REST API giving the XML response to the client. If a client is sending accept is equal to application/JSON, then REST API is giving JSON response to the client. How the XML data is converted? JAXB API used internally. Here Jackson API used internally. JAXB is used by our REST API. Jackson used by our REST API. Do we need to convert the object to JSON object to XML manually, or Spring Boot is going to take care of that? Do we need to do that conversion, or Spring Boot is going to take care of that conversion? Spring Boot is going to take care of those conversions. Spring Boot is going to take care of those conversions. Are you guys able to follow me? Are you guys able to follow me? What is happening here? Are you guys able to follow me? Come on, guys. Do you understand how XML data and JSON data coming as a response? What is the purpose of the accept header? How XML data, JSON data coming as a response? How XML data, JSON data coming as a response? How client can receive XML as a response? How clients can receive JSON as a response? Are you able to follow this? If accept header, if a client send accept is equal to application/XML, if a client send a request, with accept is equal to application/XML, then REST API will use JAXB API to convert object into XML and will send XML response to client. Okay? If a client send a request with the accept is equal to application/XML, then REST API will use JAXB API to convert object into XML and will send XML response to client. For example, if a client send a request with the application/JSON, then REST API will use which API, guys? It will use Jackson API to convert object into JSON and will send JSON response to client. Okay, see here, who is doing the conversions? Programmer is doing the conversions, or Spring Boot is doing the conversions? Spring Boot is doing the conversion. Guys, lot of depth is there in the program. You don't see much code here, but so many things are happening internally. REST APIs are very important. So many concepts will happen internally by the Spring Boot that you have to understand. Then only you will get confidence on the subject. Okay, I love the RESTful services. This is my favorite subject. I am explaining in detail each and every concept which is happening internally. Today's session is very important. Today's session is very important. I'm getting excited to explain you these internal concepts. Please take it seriously. Got it? Now, Let's see what we have discussed in the today's session. Today we discussed about how to deal with the XML data, how we need to deal with XML data and JSON data in the REST API. Okay, REST APIs are interoperable. REST API supports multiple formats of the data like text data, XML data and JSON data. Okay, I want to develop one REST API which will provide the response in the XML format and provide the response in the JSON format based on the client requirement. If a client wants XML, REST API should be able to provide the XML. If a client wants the JSON, REST API able to provide the JSON. Now see here, my REST API is doing that operation. This client wants JSON. So client is sending accept is equal to applications as JSON, is giving the JSON. Client want XML, application slash XML. Send the request. Yes, it is giving the XML. So based on the client request, my REST API providing XML response and JSON response. How my REST API will understand this client want XML or response? That's where client is going to send a request by using accept header. Client is going to send a request by using accept header. When a client is sending a request with the accept is equal to applications as XML, then my REST API will use the JAXB API and will convert that Java object into XML, will send the XML as a response to the client. Okay, if a client wants JSON data, how my REST API will understand the client wants the JSON data? Client will send a accept is equal to application slash JSON. Then my REST API will understand the client is accepting JSON data. So it will convert that object into JSON data by using Jackson API and will send that JSON data as a response to the client. So based on the accept header, REST API is deciding which API it should use, whether it should use a JAXB API or it should use a Jackson API. Okay. How the REST API can support for multiple formats of the data by using producers. I am not adding any extra dependency for the JAXB or Jackson. I am just adding web starter. That's it. Okay, guys. Yep, good. So with this we understand how to work with XML data and JSON data. With this I am stopping for today. Tomorrow we'll continue. Please practice this example before coming to tomorrow's session. Right, guys. Tomorrow Saturday we have session regular. Regular timing we have a session tomorrow. Good. Good. Thank you, guys. Good night. Please practice before coming to tomorrow's session. Tomorrow's session is also very important. We'll connect again tomorrow. Thank you.